Hey everybody, just wanted to make a video and get some thoughts out into the world. Hopefully someone finds this useful. But I want to start by talking to people who don't live in America because I'm sure you guys are watching the news and seeing what's happening here. And you might be as confused as we are. Or I don't know, maybe you're making jokes at America's expense. But I just want to say that, like a lot of Americans, we didn't vote for this. We didn't want this. What we think is happening right now is horrible. Um, and so, anyway, just realize that we're humans, and like this is stuff that's happening to us, and a majority of people didn't want this. Almost a plurality of people didn't even vote. So, like almost 40% of people don't vote in America, which is a problem. But elections have consequences, and so some things we are gonna have to put up with. Presidents have powers, and the administration have powers in our country, and that's the way our system is designed. So we have to deal with a certain level of the pain that comes as a result of this last election. But just to warn, I'm still talking to the people who don't live in America. Be careful because this can happen to you. Fascism can take over your country. Um, Alt right, conspiracy theory, alternative fact, billionaire class. They're coming for the power in your country too. So don't become apathetic. Don't become complacent, and do not let right wing authoritarianism to get a foothold in your country either, because this is what happens. They enrich themselves and they make life hard for everybody else. This is cruelty. What's happening? Um, the other thing too to realize is that, like, if you're in a G7 country and your economy is tied to the United States economy, this is bad for you too. If our economy goes into a recession or even a depression, it's going to be bad for the world economy. Maybe your country is separating itself from the United States because our leader, our president, is a bully and has been saying very awful things about other countries. So, like, if you live in Denmark or Greenland right now or Canada, I honestly don't blame the Canadian government for um, beginning to prepare to build an economy that doesn't rely on the United States. I don't blame them at all for preparing to do that. Because, it's all about self preservation at this point. Um, I do want to say a few things about the value of having allies. Like with these California wildfires, Mexico. Thank you for sending firefighters to fight. That's what real allies and friends do. I wish we were better allies to our our neighbors to the south and north, um, but we're just not. So, but here's where I'm gonna get into the hopeful part of this talk, and that's what can we do. The first thing we need to do is we need to take care of people. The economy is gonna get rough. Food prices are gonna go up. We are not sure yet if tariffs are going to touch food items imported into this country. But for Americans now, I'm talking to you. We import a majority of our food. We import a ton of our food. We don't grow it here. If tariffs do hit food items, everything's going to become really hard to afford. Eggs are expensive right now. Milk is going up right now. But when everything, rice, beans, when that all starts going up, it's going to become really hard to feed the 330 million people who live here. The federal government is AWOL right now. They are not. They are being. The agencies are being gutted. This spells really bad news for people who work. So learn to grow stuff. Learn to have a garden. If even if you can't grow all of your food, it doesn't matter. Take the small step of preparing a garden and getting prepped for that. And start now. Like, this is the perfect time. It's January, end of January. Start preparing for a garden now. It's going to take you time to learn. If you haven't grown before, if you're not a proficient gardener, it's going to take you time to learn. It's going to take you time to break ground, amend the soil. You should get your soil tested to know what's in it, what's not in it, and amend your soil to make it livable for crops. Grow what you use. If you eat a lot of tomato sauce, or if you're buying a lot of tomato sauce at the supermarket, grow your own tomatoes and onions and things, and make your own. Try. But start practicing that now. Growing food is a survival skill, and that is what we need to focus on right now, is survival and making sure that we can fill our communities with food. So grow what you use, grow what's easy to grow in your area, and then trade with neighbors, trade with friends. If food does become scarce, don't sell things at unreasonable prices. Think about the money and the time and the effort that you put into your garden, and then, help people get access to that food that you're growing. Even if you can just grow for your own family and you don't have anything left over, that's great. But if you can grow more than you can use, spread that around. Grow things that are going to be shelf stable, that store really well, and learn how to preserve, whether that's fermentation, pickling, dehydrating, freezing, whatever. Learn how to preserve the food that you're growing too, because just as much as growing the food is important, making sure it stores through the winter time and through the hard times is also vital. There's great resources from the FDC, if they haven't taken them down right now, about canning and preserving and stuff, and making sure that the stuff that you preserve is safe to consume for humans. So start now, because it takes time to learn. You're going to have setbacks, and then keep just practicing. Always be growing. Always be growing. The last thing I'll say before I jump off of here is, if you have any debt, credit card debt, pinch your pennies, tighten your belts, figure out what you need and what is a convenience for you, and tighten those belts. Get your bills paid down as much as possible, because, again, tariffs are likely to come. That is what the administration has been telling us. And if you have been one of those people that doesn't think that this administration is going to do the things that it says it's going to do, you've already been fooled. You're already behind the bell, because they're already doing it. So they've promised us tariffs. They've promised us deportations. It's happening. You're already late. If you doubt that they're going to do it, Trump was president once before. He's got a record. We know how he acts and the chaos that he brings to our government. And so don't fool yourself. This is going to get worse. It's not getting better. So pay down your debts. Start learning to grow. And then for our foreign friends, watch out. Please don't become apathetic, and watch out for each other, okay?